Alright guys, welcome back. It's been a while since we've done anything like this, so we're just gonna go ahead and hop right into it. I'm very excited today. I have not played this game whatsoever. I don't know anything about it other than it's the newest game. I've not seen anybody play it, so this is gonna be completely fresh and new for me, and I'm super excited. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. Alright, so let's go ahead and start streaming. As you can see, it is a new game for me.
The Empire of Japan. After opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation. The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some was swept away by the tide. But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
Okay, well. Looks like we've got the classic, our protagonist is the bad guy in the first one, right? I love how this looks. It's so nice. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. How can it be that just beyond the doors to this quiet little chamber is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate? Oh, they look so good! What? Oh, no, nothing. Save your glares, murderer! Sorry. Oh god, I don't know how to say this. My name is Ryanosuke Naruhodo? Ryanosuke Naruhodo. I'm gonna go with that. We're gonna call him Ryun. I'm a second year student at the Imperial Yume University. Don't roast me for how I'm pronouncing these things. I don't know. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. And now, here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough! Oh, this is a different person. He's not obligated to listen to such abuse, officer. Oh, this must be our guy. This is gonna be the guy who's gonna be our mentor. Oh, look, yeah, see? Who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Killer Wabbit! Ryunosuke. Ryunosuke, thank you. Lawyer? Yes, and until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue. Snaps. Technicalities. Look at you, you haven't even graduated yet. Is that legal? I don't think that's legal. But, I mean, I don't know. This is like feudal Japan. or something like that. I'm not really sure. I don't know what time period. This is not feudal Japan. Ah, wait, no. I don't know anything about... That's what you pretend to do. You pretend to know Japanese names. Well, you're pretending to know better than I know. And yet, I still seem to know better than you how a court officer should behave. Right, Ryunosuke? Oh, yeah, of course. Sorry. What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, No, I suppose that wasn't my fault. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. Oh, we're friends. Okay, I thought we were younger, but this is okay. Ha ha ha. There you go again, apologizing, just like always. So are we a law student too? Ah. Though I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. Well, I mean, that's what happens. Yume University professor murdered in cold blood by student. Okay, so we must be students together. But obviously, you didn't actually do it. Did you? Of course not! You have to believe me. I didn't do it. Is that something that lawyers actually ask their clients, though, you know, that are on trial for murder? Do they pull them aside and they're like, yo, man, just before we go in, you didn't actually do this, did you? I don't think anybody asks that. I mean, it's kind of hard to defend somebody when they're like, yeah, no, I totally 100% murdered this teacher in cold blood. I could never murder someone. Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up, hold your head high. It'll be totally fine. You mean, I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryunosuke. Kazuma Asogi, my best friend. Also, in his second year at Yume University. Oh, we're not even in law school yet. Why do you have this? But he's far more clever than I. A star student, in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive considering he's still an undergraduate. What? Shenanigans. It's not that impressive. Oh, so you're reading my mind now. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old here in Japan. Oh, okay, well, maybe. My qualifications don't mean much, yet. You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma. Truly. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when all this started. Flashback. Ooh, I like that we get, like, these, watercolor scenes now. This is nice. Congratulations, Kazuma. It looks like you're going to get to study abroad at last. I know, I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and success in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I just started, Oni. Okay, don't get on me. I just started. I've been streaming 7 minutes now, so... I'm really happy for you and proud as your friend. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend. It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing around his temple. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it too. Then come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. If only it were that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better be going. Who says, oh dear, look at the time? He's only a big deal because his name is pronounceable. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. I bet that is something that's actually popular in Japan, quote-unquote Western restaurants, right? I mean, would you call them American restaurants? I don't know. And I know that America isn't the only Western, place, but like, I don't really know of a lot of people who consider English cuisine to be all that enticing, right? But what would you consider a quintessential American dish? Because when I think like American food, honestly, I think of hot dogs. And that's not really like a nice restaurant food, I don't think. I guess if I had to pick a nice restaurant food for like American food, it would probably be like a steak. But that also is not inherently American. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. Yeah. Partner. It was straight after that. That's when it happened. I'm sorry, but is there a giant fan in this waiting lobby? How is this man's headscarf band thing just blowing in the wind? Asogi, may I have a word? Oh, she's cute! Professor, I didn't know you were coming. What is this puffball on his chest? Is that significant? Well, this case has personal significance to me. But never mind that for now. Asogi, you should go immediately to the judge's chambers. Okay, wait. Look at the detail in this. When he talks, you can see his teeth. Barbecue, hamburgers. The U.S. has some of the highest quality steaks on Earth, especially our average. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, barbecue and hamburgers, that's a good one. I don't think I've ever seen a barbecue place in Italy, though. I have definitely seen hamburger places, though, that, like, spout that they have, quote, American hamburgers, like, whatever that means. You should go immediately to the judge's chambers. Look, they have teeth! To His Excellency's chambers. Why? He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? Oh, he's not my professor? I feel as though I've seen him at university before. Well, I mean, he's a professor. We know that. I see. I'll go at once then. She's cute! I shall accompany you. Alright then, Ryunosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom. Look how smug he is. He's very excited. Yes. Thanks, Kazuma. I want to know what her name is. I mean, we'll figure it out. Who are you, sir? Ugh, this is awkward. Oh my god, he's looking at us! Aww. If I may. Yes, sorry. You must be the defendant. Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. Also, our regional food is popular overseas. Quote, soul food. Oh, you know what? You're right. Cajun places, barbecue, gourmet burgers are a very big deal overseas. Yeah, I didn't even think about soul food. You're so right. That is a very, like, American thing. My name is Eugen Mikotoba. Eugen Mikotoba. That's what I'm going to go with. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yume University. Oh, he's a doctor. A forensic medicine person. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Ah, Professor Mikotoba. I've heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Asogi has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. Aw, look at that. Aw, we didn't know we were best friends. As such, I feel you should know. Know what? Well, as you've no doubt heard, Asogi has been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, no! I'm afraid that permission will be revoked and never granted again. Why? Who? Exactly. Ah, as I suspected, you were unaware of this. I had a feeling Asogi may have chosen not to tell you. Well, why did you tell me? Because now I'm gonna feel bad. He's agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered. But I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing? Well, I mean, I don't know. Feudal Japan. The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas studies. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable of circumstances. I don't believe it. I don't. Why would they do this? But I didn't do it, I swear. I'm not a murderer. I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Well, you know, probably honestly, we're in a point where we're not, like, even though, Doc, I'm sure you're great, you're probably no Emma Stone, though. You're not going to be busting out that luminol spray. Sorry, what do you mean? You'll soon understand, once proceedings get underway. Oh, great. Thanks. But then what should I do? Well, strap in. Naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right. So, sit quietly and smile. As soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. I do? But what will the question be? Surely not, do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Defendant! Oh, God. Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. I'm nervous. Should I say I do? It would seem our surreptitious discussions are to be cut short. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours. Oh, I see. You're gonna try to make... He's gonna make us defend ourselves! I understand! What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Is that a thing that could happen? Get moving. There's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway. This is it. If this trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over. And what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, with absolutely no idea of what lay ahead, I embarked on that unforgettable trial. Oh, we're totally defending ourselves. This is going to be horrible. My one and only chance of proving my innocence. The trial that would decide my destiny. You know, like, sounds that take up space in your brain, and like when you hear them, you know what they are? Like this sound. I know this sound very well. But I was having a conversation with my grandmother on the phone the other day, and I could hear in the background, and all I could hear was just like chung chung. And I said, "Are you watching Law and Order?" She was. It just sounds like that take up space in my brain. So, this is a courtroom. Oh my God. My man, stop bugging out. He kind of looks like Phoenix, but like a young Phoenix. Like, I appreciate that. He's kind of got the spiky hair. The Supreme Court of Judicature. No court in the land has more power. Why are we going straight here, though? I don't much like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. Kind of look like Nazis. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that be have demanded that this be a secret trial. Who's dead? A secret trial. A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. Oh my God. Did we kill, like, the son of the emperor? The son of the prime minister? What is our government right now? What? But why? It'll become clear in time. But for now, you need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. Oh my God. It's pain. Oh, it's like a young judge. I kind of love it. Look at this man. He is so fancy. Look at him. He is very fancy. I like it. Does he have... Is that vodka? The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Ayuchi is now his name. The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency. As is the defense. I'm not going to do all the voices I usually do, because, like, it kind of hurts my throat to do them after a while, and I want to play this for a while. So, sorry, you're not going to get the Mr. Pain scream. Maybe you'll get it once, but not the whole time. You're not going to get Old Man. Before we begin, there's one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normally, procedures for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I am obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Oh, you're good, dude. Yeah, I noticed you, like, dropped off, but I just assumed you were busy. Welcome back. Quick recap. I think we're gonna have to defend ourselves. Because if we don't, our friend's, like, gonna get in big trouble. It's gonna be bad. So, we'll see if I'm right. I think I'm right, but we'll see. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? I knew it! This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant. But then if I say I do, that means I'm going to have to defend myself. I need to answer quickly. What should I do? I do. Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, I hope it's clear who will advocate for his defense. What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. You'll be... What? What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikotoba told me everything just now before the trial, unless this man is trying to fuck me over. Which he very well might be. He did what? He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off? No, it's not that really. It's just that, well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you... Yes. I knew that's how you'd feel. Which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikotoba shouldn't have stuck his nose in. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial. Well, well. Does the accused admit defeat already? Renouncing his own counsel? Really? Objection. Pain, you were just such a... Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows that the defendant's innocence is so apparent he's confident he can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Look at my eyes. I am clearly not confident. They really need to turn down the ceiling fans in all of these rooms. I agree. Oh, yes, exactly. Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. Oh no, the sweat. In fact, my mind's a complete blank. Oh no! Just like Phoenix! I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered. Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetrated a most heinous crime. You don't know? You don't know? You don't know what we're here for? As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan. Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency. It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken. My competence? What does that mean? Oh my god, you're a college man! Come on! He's questioning your ability to do the job. Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am. So let's start with the very simplest of questions. Oh, yes. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I care to remember. But, wait. I'm so nervous. I can't even remember that. What was it again? Ryunosuke. Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank. You know me so well. All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court record. But I can't even find that. It's simple. You can access the court record with the press of E. If you ever find you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all in there. I just have to press E for the court record. Alright, there's no time to lose. This is a list of evidence. Now try switching to people instead with E. You can find details about the victim in here. When you're done, just press Z to go back. Okay, cool. John H. Wilson. Oh, he looks like an Englishman. Yes, he's from the British Empire. Okay. All right. I know how to access the court. Thank you. Now you better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record, then press R to present. Try it now. Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry. R. Yes. The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university. Dr. Wilson, there's no period there, was a visiting professor from England, invited to Yume University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire, oh, I see, is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally. We have committed a crime of diplomatic error, I understand. And as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. Yes, we've all heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial Yume University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor? Ugh, but I didn't do it. This case is coming under great scrutiny from all of our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. Huh. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. Well, I mean... And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities, is it? Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. Dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow. Eddie Murphy was so good in that movie. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Are we gonna get our flashback? Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. The British Empire. Wow, it's incredible to think. Wait. Oh no, there's an Englishman there. I've seen that man at the university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go and say hello. Oh no, we sealed our fate. So I went over to the professor's table. He's giving me Colonel Mustard vibes. Anybody else? And introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Now then, let me pose my next question to you. Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. How did this professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death. The cause of death. Well, obviously that was, he died? Death occurred a little after 2 p.m. and was caused by loss of blood from a gunshot to the chest. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body. Alright. Ryunosuke. Remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence. By evidence? But how? Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death and select present. Do it now. I know.
Yes.
Well... Oh, look at him with the... Oh! This is so intricate! I love it! Look at what they've done! According to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma. Learn to read, you imbecile! That's the post-mortem report, I take it. Sorry, yes. That's right. The, post-mortem report. In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. That's not very scientific. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later. This is a so-called photographic print of the scene from the crime. You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range. That would be point blank, right? Less than 5 feet. Thank you, counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record. The photographic print of the victim has been entered into the court record. So that's a photographic print. Wow, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible. Very well. I am satisfied with your answers. Yeah, you're satisfied that I'm competent enough to get myself, not off the hook. So let's start the trial. Ooh, what was that? Certainly, Your Excellency. So without further ado, in order to better apprise the court with the apprise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened. Ugh. This is it then. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You mean Dr. Mikotoba? Yes, clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Ah, of course. When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Osogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Maybe, but any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first! That's right, get 'em. Oh, I see. Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please. Of course. My name is Satoru Hosanaga. I'm the head waiter at a Western-style restaurant called La Carnival. So fancy. I'm sorry, do you have tuberculosis? What is happening? Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some The regular occurrence, it doesn't really bother me. This man has tuberculosis, and he's just wiping it on his, little towel thingy for his fancy restaurant job. Well, it really, really should. I agree. Tuberculosis is very bad and very contagious. As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, an Occidental eatery 3 days ago. This is using a lot of words that I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce. Understood, Hosonaga-san. You will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. At once, sir. And no petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please. Oh, perspiring maybe, but aspiring? It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We have few diners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied. That fits in with my memory of it, too. There was hardly anyone else in the place. Ugh. I'm not a fan! It was when I was in the kitchen putting away crockery and cutlery. Ooh. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair, and standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student. I'm sorry, why did I say yes? Hold on, just let me clarify something here. While I did pick up a gun that I found lying on the floor beside the professor, Stop! I didn't shoot him. I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness report of what he saw, you amateur. But the next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized, Defendant Naruhodo. Don't worry, Ryunosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must just quietly listen to the witness. Ugh. If I may confirm one point, waiter, standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see here in court today. Yes, without question. I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim? No. There was no one else around that table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. Huh? Wait, what did he just say? There was no one else around that table. What's the matter, Ryunosuke? That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello... Oh, did he have a guest? He had a guest! There was a woman sitting opposite him at this table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting. But still, what should I do? Objection. Yes! Yes! Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table. Dear me, what are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all? But I'm sure of what I saw. You don't have to be a lawyer to defend yourself. Hosonaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy. No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant, as it was that day. Please, have a look if you'd like to. Why did you draw this? Let me see. Ah, a sketch of the establishment's layout drawn by yourself, I presume. That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. How do you get from that he was seated alone? I don't understand. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Yeah, you're suspect waiter, that's what you are. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well... Oh... Interesting, you don't want us to have it. Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. What was that about? Turn it over! He's been completely calm and collected until now. Turn it over! Something certainly seems to have shaken him. The waiter's business card has been entered into the court record. Yeah, well, I guess I'd be kind of shaken too if I was a murderer and I had tuberculosis. So, the court has now heard of the precis of the case. Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant, the only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. No! Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. Spanish flu. That's another one that's definitely a possible occurrence. If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I called this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court, but I must warn the defense, if you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial, the prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime. I didn't know that you could have unsworn witnesses. But again, this is based off feudal Japanese court, so, and it's also fiction, so like this could just not be real. What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual, about these peculiarities. You've said it, Professor Mikotoba's said it, and so has the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet despite knowing that, and despite knowing that I'm innocent, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face? Is that it? Like, I'm just willing to just be found guilty? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, the defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. Oh! Angry. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Oh yeah, get that point in there. Then we'll see just how decisive this evidence really is. Look at that point. So strong, those back muscles. Indeed. Prosecutor Ayuchi, please continue with proceedings. Huh. Well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. Oh, come off it. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced. Forever. I'm sorry, are you gonna kill me? A few moments from now, he's just gonna whip out his own gun and kill me. Case closed. Guilty. The prosecution calls its next witness. Very well, officer. Bring forth the witnesses at once. He's about to murk my butt. That's right. Oh, multiple witnesses at the same time. Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court. Yes, sir. The great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Iesa Nosa. Reporting for duty, sir. I like his mustache. It's very, triangular. Oh, look at this old man! Myself, I find employ as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the efflorescence of our nation Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rasute, a humble premises in the 2nd District, Curio Korakuta. There we go. Curio. Oh, I see what they're doing. Korakuta, at your service. An antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing. Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question. They must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question. Always post-noon. Oh, he's so cute. I love him. and not infrequently converse with interested parties regarding the curios with which I make my business. I can't understand a word that old man is saying. You need to study. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at Le Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. I mean, that makes sense. He obviously targets Le Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer. Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of the most atrocious incident. Is that correct? I bet they're going to contradict each other. Affirmative. The enemy unit... The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir. It was that black uniformed rogue infantryman over there with who unloaded his firearms, sir. This man's as impossible to understand as the other. But I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during the last thing that he said. Yeah, there was like a baby cry. So this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yeah. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? What kind of a question is that? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Sir, yes, sir! Standing by, ready to report, sir! He's got a baby strapped to the back of his chest. Unsavory memories of a most acerbic afternoon. I'm going to go with that one. What the witnesses saw. I was ingesting a regulation beef steak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. That's right, gotta respect men who wear babies. At that precise moment, a fireman was discharged. A firearm! A fireman! Boo 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 boo! Get those firemen out there. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Ah ha 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 ha, he couldn't have fired from the back, I don't think, because then the scorch marks wouldn't have been on his front. I was on my hands and knees, investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio. Ooh, something was stolen, I see. Well, so you, Sergeant Nosa, actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. That wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgivable enemy. I have been demoted. Each time that he has talked about me, I've just been demoted. What times we live in when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day. You, sir, have a knife in court. But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Is that really true, Rinosuke? Yes, all I did was pick up the gun when I saw it lying on the floor. Why would you pick up a gun? Don't fucking touch that shit. After I'd said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Ooh, coffee. Then when I'd finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant. When I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it. So I bent down, and just as I was picking it up, bang! Well, now it sounds like we accidentally shot him, and that's not ideal either. Well, if that's the truth, there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. Yeah, apparently we picked it up. And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who that criminal was. There is? Rinosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses. Cross-examine? Do it now! As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It is time to bring the despicable student to justice. Certainly, the testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this trial. Why do I always interrupt by saying yes? I raised my hand! What in the name of Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? I mean, the defense demands its right to cross-examine. Dear me, dear me. Let me guess. The Hachimaki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic. Huh? How did he know? The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination? The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Kazuma is so commanding. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Ryunosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means that the soldier said it has to be a lie. Well, yeah, but it's just a case of proving it. And the key to doing that is evidence. Right. Evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now let's go, Ryunosuke. Don't let them beat you. All right, I like how when he slapped it, it just kind of sounded like you were touching a wet fish, like just... And when the other guy does it, it's like, bam! All right, then. It's all or nothing. I like how the little old man just, like... I love their little idle animations. It's so good! Okay. I don't care about that. Look at him with his glass. I don't care about that either. Observe the enemy's actions with my own eyes. Don't care about that. The black gamer is firing on the Englishman civilian, and then from the back, the cowardly weasel. Here we are. Okay. So. Let's press this. So this black uniform university cadet, who's saying that was... I've had just about enough of your sauce, cadet. Who else do you see around here in black uniform, Well, there's someone standing right next to me who fits the description as well. But it was you, you little weasel. You unloaded the firearm on that man from behind his back, and you call yourself a citizen of the great empire of Nippon? You disgust me. Alright, so he has confirmed for a second time that he says it was from the back. What is it, Ryunosuke? I'm not quite sure. It's something that the sergeant just said, but I can't put my finger on it. Something's playing on my mind. In that case, check back over the details of the evidence you've gathered in the court record. Yes, I know. Yes, I know. I know how to play the game. Thank you. Present the evidence to the court. Thrust it in the witness's face and make him choke on it. Ooh, I got an achievement. I was on my hands and knees. No. Back. No. I know what to do. Stop. I clicked the back button. Why didn't it go back? Yes, I know. It won't let me skip this. Like, I have to wait for them to... I have to wait for him to finish talking. I can't even make him talk faster. Why are you grabbing your sword like that?
Yes!
I like how I raise my hand every single time. Oh, he's sweating. He knows. He knows. What are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting some photographic print in my mustache, no less. Inconsistency, sir. I mean, yes. There's a clear inconsistency here. What nonsense. What can this print possibly tell us that we don't already know? Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth. I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom. Alright, this is so frustrating. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. Kazuma, what? What are you talking about? It's apparent from a single glance at the photograph print presented by the defense that there's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement. What? Sergeant Iasanosa. Yes, sir. What, sir? The statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the Englishman civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir! Affirmative, sir! I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir! Well, I think you need new military-grade eyes. But no, that just can't be. And why not, cadet? Because... Take a close look at the print. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Ah. Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? Oh, there's the baby. Ooh, What? What was that? Someone just popped up from behind his back, but he pushed it down again. You don't know what a baby looks like? Certainly, there is a clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa? Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly fixed on the delicious La Carnival steak, sir. What? The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Iasanosa, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all. That's absurd. I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom. Oh! There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial just from that one discrepancy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. But I definitely saw him. That university cadet there, he was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back. But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either? Myself, I have already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for treasure. Treasure? Oh my god! Indeed! The Hoey Era Koban, my prized coin. On each occasion when I visit that restaurant, it is my habitude to place in my bosom pocket a particular trinket of interest from my shop, Rasute, in the hope of meeting a rich diner who might like to buy it from you. On the day under scrutiny, it was to the military man that I proffered my Hoey treasure. Believe that he would purchase such a rare find, I did not, but I was presented with little alternative. And then, after averting my eyes for the briefest of moments, it was there no more. It simply vanished. The Koban vanished. Hunting around under the table, I was, in case mayhap it had fallen there, and then it happened. I'm sorry, Yoda. What? You heard the gunshot, you mean? Indeed I did, but I heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hoei treasure. Nothing could distract me. Oh my god, this man is like, he's very intense. Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? No. I see. I bet that woman took it. That lamentable day, the precious Hoei Koban was lost to me. No doubt, some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for him. Oh! He's blaming him. As I am sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive, no matter how subservient our government feels it must be to the British. It would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Ayuchi? Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back. My witnesses have further testimony to make. Explain. Upon hearing their next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could possibly have committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Very well. The court invites the witnesses to testify again. You will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegations. Is that clear? As clear as Kuriko glass, Your Excellency. Yes, sir. At once, sir. Awaiting signals to testify, sir. Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think. Affirmative! The newest member of the Nosa family to rise up through the ranks, sir! Name, Ido. It would seem those straps are a sign of the sergeant being too strapped to afford a nanny. Ido. Teen Shun. Your father is about to quail the enemy. Watch and learn, my boy. Oh, it's kind of cute. I'm not a fan of the snot bubble, though. I'm really digging this old man's character. He's kind of fun. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. No, it's not. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man, he was. That young lad in black. That much I myself did see. Thank you, Yoda. When did you become Yoda? Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that there were only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Why are you talking like this suddenly? You weren't doing that earlier. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman over and out. These testimonies are certainly compelling. Wait, that's nonsense. The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all. Please, enough of these outbursts already. But there was a woman, there was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her. Why was she hot? If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. Ugh. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence. No! No, you don't! She could have fucking left! Is this a photographic print of the scene of the crime, counsel? Indeed. Of the table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. Oh my god. As can plainly be seen, there's only one place set. That doesn't mean shit. Certainly based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else. This doesn't make any sense. The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record. Bottle of carbonated water and steak lunch can be seen on the victim's table. I don't understand. What's going on here? You're being framed, obviously. It's just not possible that nobody else saw that woman. Unless she's a ghost. The waiter before said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. But that's not true. I saw her. I swear that I saw a woman with him. I mean, he could have come to the restaurant alone. Doesn't mean he ate alone. It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to the Great Britain on no time at all. The witness testimony we have just heard leave no further room for doubt. These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Takasuchi Ayuchi, will have contributed to the amity of these two great empires is an honor. About to bring dishonor on your cow. How can this be happening? The judge is ready to rule. Stand tall, Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. What? If what you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth, in your cross-examination. I don't know, Kazuma. The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses, but make it quick, understood? Huh, rules can be so unbending at times. Alright, I think I'm gonna have to press these guys for more information, because nothing inherently stuck out at me, but we'll go through it again. It's not almost the same thing. How did you see it? You said that nothing would distract you.
Yes!
Yes, it may be true that I was holding the gun at that point in time. But I've told you already that's only because I picked it up off the floor. Well, obviously, as a culprit, that's the only way you could explain it away. I had just finished drinking my coffee, and I was about to leave the restaurant when I noticed a gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. And at exact moment, bang. A gunshot rang in my ears. Full of events beyond our control, life is. Sorry? What do you mean? In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing predicament. Whereas conversely, I failed to pick up the Koban from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as a result. I don't think you missing something like that is gonna ruin your life like this. Anyway, the fact remains. Myself, I did see you, with pistol in hand, standing over the foreigner. Did I stand up, though? We were the only personnel present.
Yes!
You must have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there. As you have been at pains to point out time and time again, I feel I'm growing a callus in my ear. And yet, no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman. Ugh. If only there'd been more people dining there at the time, then someone else would have noticed her. Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. The quiet time between lunch and dinner in any restaurant. I know. Of course, the place was almost empty. It's what you'd expect. Certainly, 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of a time to eat. I eat at 2 p.m. all the time. I wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eating at that time of day, and why he was alone. Yes, Your Excellency. There was indeed a reason. Ooh, look, we're getting more info. Good. There was? This was found in the victim's jacket pocket. What is that, Counsel? It is a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant. Hata Clinic. Yes, there would indeed appear to be an entry for the date in question. 19 November noon past 1 p.m. The very day of the incident. So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation couldn't be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it really has no bearing on the case. I wonder. What do you think, Ryunosuke? Well, it's hard to see how it could be related, really. Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the court record as evidence if you think it could be useful. Yeah. We're gonna ask for it.
Yes!
If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency. On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern. I don't think you can get in trouble for having too much evidence. Whether or not they are of concern is up to us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible avenues. I beg your pardon? You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well. The court will grant the defense's request. Huh. Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. It's a most disturbing trend. Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. The victim's medical report card. What we need right now is new clues. We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. Right, I hear you. Huh. You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you like, but it's the day after the festival already for you. Or perhaps you'd forgotten that these witness testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Kurakuda-san. Indeed, alone he was.
Yes!
So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? I want to check whatever. Oh, look, I can examine. I don't know what these mean. Can I turn it over? I want to flip it. I want to see what's on the other side. To the chest and not to the victim's body. Victim Dr. Wilson dining alone. That I did. Forgive me for the position I place you in. So the testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? And let us not forget the incontestable evidence we have to support their statements as well. As can clearly be seen, there's only a single beefsteak on the victim's table, a meal for one. This is obviously going to be their point of contingency that I have to figure out. I mean, like, it's ridiculous. You can't just assume because one person was eating that nobody else was there. The antiques dealer, the sergeant, and the waiter who testified before. It's not impossible that they're all lying. But we have to figure out how to prove that they're lying. But if so, then why? If I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea.
Yes!
Why aren't you telling me the truth? What did you say, cadet? I clearly remember. There was a woman sitting across the table from the professor. Perhaps one of you might not have noticed. But for both of you to have failed to see the professor's dining companion, it's just not possible. Unfortunately for you, Defendant Naruhodo, it's just not a case for these two witnesses alone. Sorry? The waiter, whose testimony the court heard earlier, clearly stated the same thing. He also said that the victim was alone. That's right. Precisely. In other words, you are the sole proponent of this phantom lady. But if such a woman were indeed present at the scene, the prosecution demands to see proof. I need to prove it. But if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands that no further mention of this phantom woman be made. It is a blatant waste of the court's time. There's nothing I can say to that. Ha ha ha. What an annoying laugh. Excellent work, Renosuke. We've gleaned some new information now. Well, yes, but I don't feel like it changes much. I can't see that it brings any real discrepancies to light. I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you just got. Oh, you mean this? Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence. So perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. Oh, okay. Yeah, thank God. Yep. Yep, I figured that out. Thank you. You can let me do it now. Ah, haha. Good. Exciting. Okay. Alright. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. I agree. So if there isn't something new to be learned by examining it in more detail. Alright, I'll see what I can do. I need to use blah blah. Yes, I know. It says Hata Clinic on this medical report card. I hate clinics almost as much as I hate hospitals and surgeries. Aren't they all the same? When I was 5, I caught the only cold I've ever had in my life. And I remember, even though I felt awful already, I had to have this hideous injection in my right arm. Huh, I'll never forget it. Never in my whole life. Most people would give their right arm to have had only one cold in their whole life. Anyway, I don't think this is a clinic where they treat people for illnesses like that. Yeah, I think this is like a plastic surgery clinic. Let's keep looking for clues. We don't want to miss anything. Oh, dentistry? It looks like this medical report card was first issued quite some time ago. It's probably a record of long-term treatment, that's why. With a family doctor, I imagine. Well, I can't imagine. Going to a doctor, I mean. As long as I'm alive, I'm never consulting one. Well, if you were dead, there'd be no point. So you don't like doctors, then? Why would you? They make you drink horrible-tasting medicine. They give you painful injections. And then they demand lots of money from you for the privilege. All when you're at the lowest ebb. You sound like a model patient. With a bad case of stubborn no less, for which the only cure is bitter medicine indeed. Let's open this bad boy up. Yes! Let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. Ah, and there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? It would seem so, just before the incident. He'd had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they use laughing gas. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yes, I've heard of this anesthesia. Although it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you feeling pain. There's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure, until anesthetic effects have passed. Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. With this new information, the meaning of that one particular statement totally changes. So I think it's time we listen to the testimony again, don't you? Definitely. Yeah, I agree. He was not dining.
Yes!
Raising my hand. Well, I think, about what are you wittering, lad? Call yourself a lawyer. I wish I could. But first and foremost, here, I'm the accused. Ryunosuke. Everyone stumbles on their words occasionally. Under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I could see it quite clearly in that cross-examination you just carried out. When you raised your hand straight up like that, so purposefully. You knew exactly what it was you wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. All right, and thanks for the advice. Oh, I'm getting a little more confident now. Look at this. Kurakuda-san, this is a medical report card belonging to the victim. I see. And I don't see. What of it, boy? Comparing what is written on this report card with your witness statement, something clearly doesn't add up. Dear me, have you forgotten my words so soon, you amateur? Sorry, what? You were not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drivel. But let's see if I can explain in words you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have done before that time is completely irrelevant. That's not true. But that's, remember, Ryunosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point. Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There's surely no need to prolong this trial further. The witness testimonies the court has heard have been clear and concise. This medical report card has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there is no one else besides this pale-faced pupil who could possibly... This medical report card has nothing to do with the case? Do you really believe that? What? That outburst has petrified me, boy. Of course I believe it. How could it possibly be relevant? Perhaps because Hata Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic. A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me? Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just had a tooth extracted. What's this now? And furthermore, if I told you that as a result, the victim had been forbidden from eating. Just what are you trying to say, cadet? He had orders not to eat, so what? It's all written up in here. No food or drinks other than water for 3 hours post-procedure while anesthesia wears off. What? No, that can't. Kurakuda-san. What, boy? What? As you just heard, when he was killed, sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all. No. Additionally, there's more. You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. But that cannot possibly be the case. Because the victim, as we know now, had just had one of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effects of anesthetic. Expertly done, partner. Oh, look at the baby. He's so short! What? What is this nonsense, you little upstart? They're baseless. These are baseless These are baseless accusations. Just look at this photographic evidence. You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim's table. Doesn't mean it's his. Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about. Or can't you follow the logic? Ooh, get him. How dare you? I think it's fair to say that the tables in this restaurant's case have turned. Ba-ba-ba. Wouldn't you agree, Ryunosuke? Huh? Yes, most definitely. So having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who was eating the food? Yep. The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel. Counsel? Oh! That means me, doesn't it? Alright. The answer to this question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of your turning this trial around. Show them what you're made of. Got it. So, the person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been... It was the woman. Obviously, it can only have been someone else who was sitting at the professor's table. You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person. There was, because I saw her When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything, yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on this table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. Ugh. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that the witness testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through a ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial, relentlessly. Kazuma, are you insane? You would take on the government. Don't worry, Counsel. I have no issue with you. What do you mean? I have issues with them. Those two witnesses in the stand. What? What are you talking about? We have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So if it now turns out that the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously you will be charged with perjury. Perjury? And since this is a murder trial, you will also be deemed complicit in the killing. Complicit in murder? No! Look at his little fist. He's angry. He's an angry man. Negative. There was no mention of this at the tactical meeting. Oh, it's coming. I was just following orders. That's right, as the man says. Just say you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they, told us. Oh. What? What did you just say? Kurakuda-san? Oh, no. You were just following orders? Now, hold on, lad. I was, say you never saw the gentlewoman? When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with the lady from overseas? What? What is the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements? Is this true, you pair? Just one simple slip of the tongue. Order, counsel, explain what is going on here. It's painfully clear now. You tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth. Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this. Then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut? That's classified. So you're prepared to be tried as a conspirator to this murder, are you? You wouldn't. This can't be happening. Ryunosuke, judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe Ayuchi had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities, like the Emperor himself. It could only have been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. Well, any ideas about who might be behind this? The government. If we confirm who tried to silence these witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit. So we need to name whoever it was that tried to make the witnesses keep their mouth shut. Of course, we'll need evidence before we make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever it was really did wield his or her power over them. But how? How can we possibly... We gotta look at the evidence. Remember how we made progress before? We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result. Oh, yes, that's right. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? Oh, it's gonna be the business card. We need to re-examine everything and make sure there's nothing we've missed. There's no time to lose. I want answers. If it's proven that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you the penalty will be severe. Please, wait. Your Excellency, I had no idea about any of this. I swear to every Shinto god. I knew nothing. And what does the defense have to say about all of this? Well, Your Excellency. No time to think. I'm just going to have to close my eyes and shout out the first name that comes to my head. No, we're gonna look at some stuff. This plan of the restaurant raises a number of questions. I think definitely it's supposed to show that the relative position of everything in the moments following the incident. But there's nothing to show the woman you say you saw there. Exactly, and that's not all. Look here in the upper left, where it says kitchen. Oh yes, what of it? No one would use those complicated characters to write kitchen, especially not if they were in a hurry. You mean you don't remember those characters yourself? Don't you? Study harder, Ryunosuke. Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation, Imperial. It's the police. Well, that's unexpected. What is? Look, do you see it says the witness's name here? Satoru Hasanaga. Well, yes, business cards do tend to show the person's name. That's sort of the point. It's not the name that's unexpected. It's his job title. His job? Oh! Chief Inspector Satoru Hasanaga, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. Inspector? What on earth? I have no idea. But let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence. If they're wielding it somewhere, here. The waiter's business card. Has information been updated? Alright, we know who did it now. I honestly suspected it was going to be the government, but that's cool. Besides the prosecution, the only person with the necessary influence to manipulate the witnesses is...
Yes!
Well, surely, that would be Satoru Hasanaga-san. Hasanaga-san? The waiter who took the stand earlier.
Objection!
Poppycock! What possible reason would the waiter have to make the witnesses give false testimony? Not to mention the fact that even a head waiter could not possibly have the level of influence. For once, I would agree with you. If, that is, the man truly were a waiter. What? If he truly were? Come on, Ryunosuke. Time to hit this court with the truth. The truth about Satoru Hasanage-san's real identity, as proven by this evidence.
Yes!
The plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question. I agree it shows great detail of attention, but I'm not sure we can conclude anything. Sorry, Your Excellency, that's the back of the card. It's the back of the card that's of interest. I beg your pardon? The front, or perhaps I should have said the front. There we go. Yes, it's the front of the back of the card. That's where the telling detail is. Just tell him. Would somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say? Hosonaga-san sketched the plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of that business card reveals the man in question's profession. His true profession. The waiter's profession. But that's surely... What waiter has business cards? Good gracious! That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. What? The waiter is a police detective? I haven't heard any mention of this before. The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power, absolute power, as far as regular civilians are concerned. So, witnesses there in the stand. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you'd seen this foreign gentlewoman at the scene? Well... Inspector Hosonaga! I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility. Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand it over his business card. I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It's my guiding principle. Well, you kind of fucked it up. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake. So, you mean to say, you really are a detective? But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Ah, of course, your salary must be terrible. I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to the case of homicide. Very well then, Inspector Hosonaga, but you will elaborate on one point for the court. Of course, Your Excellency. We have just heard new information from the two witnesses beside you. That the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would also have been aware of this person's presence, having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did allude to this other diner. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner. Therefore, I am led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you required these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable! Huh. As I suspected. Oh, shit. As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady, whom I guessed to be an Englishwoman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the Bureau. It was then that I received some special orders. Special orders? You mean to say, remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once. It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. But what if the Englishwoman was the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interest not to pursue that idea. The Empire views the friendly terms of its relationships with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishman had been murdered on our soil. To name an Englishwoman as the primary suspect, well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case. But it's not right. One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Kazuma? Yume University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain, and I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying in the medical faculty's research laboratory, is a young English woman. What? You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour. You mean, when I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first. Then the court demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector. The English woman sitting at the university professor's table was a certain Miss Giselle Brett. She is indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory at Yume University's medical faculty. What is happening here? I admit that under orders from the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene, and ordered these witnesses to make no mention of her in their testimonies. It must now be up to Your Excellency to decide how to deal with this situation. Very well. My thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise, namely, that the victim was dining alone. However, as we have now discovered that this premise is false, it would be a desecration of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point. But Your Excellency, that would mean missing the noon deadline of a ruling in order to send the telegraphic report to Great Britain. Our own government will surely be very displeased by such actions. Calm yourself, Counsel. I will not allow the government of our country or any other to influence the proceedings of my courtroom. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes, sir. You will locate this Giselle Brett. and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency. At once, Your Excellency. But that means you'll be going against the special orders you were given from the police bureau. As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So it won't be a problem. He's very upset. Nothing will get in my way. He has to make up for what he did. Oh no. Court will adjourn briefly. The prosecution must call the English student, Giselle Brett, to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear? Yes. Your Excellency. Good. Then we will have a 30-minute recess before reconvening. To be continued. All right, and with that, we're going to end for tonight. That was a lot of reading. My voice is a little, you know, parched from doing all that reading. Thank you guys for joining me on this adventure. I am so excited to play this game. It has been great so far. All right, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Thank you. Bye, guys. I enjoyed having you.